It's Wednesday, January 30th. Welcome to Pastor Bob Daily. It's been an interesting night here. We had tornado warnings last night, 100-mile-an-hour winds. I looked outside and in the middle of the night and thought our trees were going to break. The wind was so strong, blowing them down. This morning we don't have any damage necessarily in our yard, not much, but all around us there's a lot. There was a semi-truck that flipped over just up the street. There's a 3-story building that collapsed up the street. And so it's been an interesting time, and the rain is still coming down, and it's still storming, and exciting, huh? And some people might say that we didn't have much damage because God is protecting us. Well, there was a man that was in the truck. He didn't get much injury, but he went over with the truck. There were people that were in the 3-story building. They're safe, but they went through it. Not so far from here, there was a man that was trying to seek shelter in one of the buildings in his yard, and as he approached the building collapsed on him and he died. I wonder if he was a Christian. And I wonder if God protected us, but he didn't protect him. Those are the kinds of questions that we don't like to ask, aren't they? They're the kind of questions that we feel like, okay, I don't want to know the answer to that. And we like to just feel like everything that we do, that God is protecting us and no harm will ever come to us, and yet we know that isn't true. Christians are killed all the time. Christians go through catastrophes all the time. Christians go through tornadoes all the time. Christians die in war. Sometimes families aren't safe. Rapists are out there, even raping Christians. Wow, that's pretty hardcore, isn't it? What about that person that prays, Lord, please protect me, and they're still raped? What do we do with those kinds of things? And, those are legitimate questions that, folks, we have to dare to ask. The Bible says in this world you'll have all kinds of trouble, but, I've overcome the world, he said. In other words, there's a better world ahead. The Bible says that it rains on the just and the unjust. We're all subject to everything around us. The difference, though, is, folks, two things. That the Bible says God gives us peace in the middle of a storm, and that we know where we're going when we leave this earth. Now, last night as I looked out of my windows and I realized that the trees were about to snap, and the wind was so strong, and I thought, any time now a branch could come hurling through this window, or something could happen, or the tornado could just find a path right through this house and I'd be in eternity. And that could happen. Except for, I really do have peace in the middle of a storm. Now, that doesn't mean that my heart doesn't get racing, that I don't feel something as the storm is escalating, but it means that there's peace there. Why? Because the storm's going away? No. I have peace there because I know that ultimately I belong to God. And when I exit this world, I know where I'm going. That's the peace. And folks, we need to ask these kinds of questions because they lead to really good answers. The best one is, there is a security that you and I have, knowing where we're going to go when we exit this world, that takes fear away from almost everything. Am I ready to die? No. I'd like to spend a few more years here, but I'm not afraid of it. I know where I'm going when I die. I know who he is. He's in my heart. We've had this relationship for 55 years, and I'm not afraid of it. That's the difference. And that's why, folks, we can feel good in the middle of a storm, why we have peace. He gives it to us. And it's a good thing to feel, especially last night when I went through the storm. Well, there may be storms in your life. Maybe you're sick and you're praying that God will heal you, and that could happen. You could also die. You may be in the middle of a difficult time where you think God has to rescue me from this, and maybe the ultimate rescue is heaven. Folks, this world sucks sometimes. It really does. The weather, the people, circumstances, whatever it might be, it's difficult at best sometimes. And yet, I know whom I believed, and I'm persuaded that he is able to keep that which I've entrusted in him until that day. That's our blessed hope. My hope isn't for things around me, the weather, anything else. My hope is in Jesus Christ, and that when all of this is done, I'm eternally with him. God bless you. Have a great day.